So the new ranked is out, and it includes arms race again. And well, that's the most fun you're gonna have in this ranked season, in my opinion. I think that epicenter and just regular domination are nowhere near as fun as this. And the other problem is there's aircraft carriers in this ranked season. But today's video is on the most fun you're gonna be able to have, or at least I'm able to have in this ranked season. And that's playing a secondary battleship very aggressively and collecting buffs and just kind of running over the enemy team, honestly. Here I actually push into these mid islands just because they're like the most important to get control of for your team. The final circle that ends the game basically ends up in these islands, right? It ends up in the very middle of the map. So you just have to have control of these islands. Otherwise, at the end of the game, after everybody has all these crazy buffs, you're just pushing into them and they have island cover. And it's just, you pretty much lose if you don't have these islands. So that's why I'm pushing so aggressively here, despite my team going to the opposite flank. But we should die here, honestly. There's a gearing YOLOing us. I guess I assume he's YOLOing me. So I was thinking of going and getting this maneuverability buff and then being able to angle my ship out towards the 10 line so that anybody pushing into these islands, I could shoot with my main guns and my secondaries while being angled and while being able to push, or while being able to kite away. I didn't get that far though, as you can see. So I'm actually in a really bad spot. But the gearing decides not to come around the front. So, I don't know why, but hey man, I got a Smolensk backing me up. This dude's dead. Like, secondaries are pretty strong at this range, especially from Ohio. You can just, yeah, they'll hit so many shells. So, fortunately, he actually doesn't even end up torping us, so I'm pretty much fine here. But yeah, back to arms race. If you've never played it before, you receive buffs by capturing these little miniature zones. So you can get a reload buff, a maneuverability buff, and a heal buff. And they all just make your ship better. And by far the best buff to get is the heal buff, in my opinion. Reload's good, but as we all know, battleships don't really suffer with gun reload and dealing damage that way. I find battleships suffer from just dying too quickly. So having 4 heals, or 4 buffs to my healing, you're gonna see, well, you can see my heal or my health in the bottom left corner just ticking up over time, which is pretty nice. And in fact, it actually ticks for about the same amount as a single fire. So maybe a little bit less right now, but it ticks for a lot. So you're gonna see that yeah, it's pretty nice to have. However, this Des Moines has, what, 25,000 health. Notice that I was on like 84,000 HP at the beginning of this fight. He doesn't own a Citadel, apparently. He just didn't get that DLC on his ship, I guess. I don't know. But it was removed, so we're unable to hit it. I was on 84,000 HP, mind you. And yes, I know it's a Des Moines at close range. Of course he's going to deal a ton of damage to me. But it just doesn't make sense to me that a cruiser won't get punished, right? So 84 down to 54. He did 30k in the time that it took me to reload my guns. Which, on this ship, is around 25 seconds. Cruisers, man. Cruisers. But we got the heal, so it's okay. It's okay. But a little frustrating for me, but now we're gonna push out. The Thunder is probably gonna come in behind us through that gap, so what I'm preparing to do here is, well, I mean, we've pretty much won this game already, but especially since I control these islands, but I'm just gonna push this Stalingrad, honestly. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run into the enemy team. Because with these heals, if you angle properly, you can mitigate a lot of the damage coming in, and the heals allow you to survive long enough to get within secondary range and start dealing some pretty massive damage. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun playing this game mode, honestly. I wish it was more in a normal queue where you could play it all the time. Also, being an 8 versus 8, also makes it so you can push in a little bit easier. There's less ships on the field. There's less chance of getting all these super powerful high explosive spam ships. So it's a good time, at least when you get this mode without carriers. But the problem is, as soon as you get a carrier, well, we all know how strong carriers are in a 12 versus 12 game. What happens when you reduce the number of ships by a third? Right? It's just horrible. It's just horrible. They're even stronger. There's even less you can do. You have to group up and only run around as a little blob of ships to even hope to deal with those. The carrier. It's just not fun when there's a carrier in it, because when there's a few ships on the field, there's more opportunities to flank, there's more opportunities to push in, and have, you know, more impact on the game. But a carrier just takes that all away, because you're spotted all the time, you're taking damage for free all the time. It's just not fun. I really dislike that they added carriers into this game mode, but at least some of the time when there's no carrier and you get arms race, you can have a lot of fun. The other thing I should point out is there's epicenter in this ranked season. So epicenter on tiers is horrible, as we all know from random battles. Quick note, just always shoot at close range, upper bow of Stalingrad. You overmatch it and you deal tons of damage. Don't aim for his superstructure, don't aim for his belt, unless he's flat broadside, of course, but just play it safe. Aim for the upper bow and kind of the back portion of the upper bow, so that the shells can overmatch the upper bow and then penetrate through the kind of frontal armor in front of his main guns, and you'll get tons of damage. That's how you deal with Stalingrad's Moskvas at close range. Yeah, I think that the epicenter game mode is the least amount of fun I've had in this ranked season so far. I haven't played too many games, but I did get to rank 8 last night, and so it's not bad. Here again, you're seeing me use that trick that I talked about last video, holding your back turrets directly behind you. You see me trying to keep them looking backwards, just so that I can shoot that thunder and keep them honest. Eventually I will start to just shoot the Borgone with all my guns, because I'll need to kill him, but for right now we're okay to just put a little pressure on the thunder, or just remind him we're here a little bit, you know. So I think that the best ships for at least arms race portion are going to be Kurfürst. I think Kurfürst is the best ship, because you have more health than Ohio, which means each of these heal buffs ticks for more. Your secondaries pen 32mm, so my secondaries would be shredding this Borgone even faster if I had Kurfürst. And despite your guns being a little bit weaker, you get a Hydro. And for taking those mid-islands by yourself and making plays by yourself, a Hydro is so powerful in helping you deal with destroyers. So I think Kurfürst is the best for this game mode, but for all the other game modes, I think Ohio would be better if you're wanting to play a secondary ship. So I think I'd probably recommend Ohio just in general, because you're not gonna get arms race every time. As you can see, I have 3 fires ticking on me, which normally would be killing me, but this extra heal is pretty nice. And we get a huge hit on that thunder, which is always nice. Ohio guns are no joke, as we all know. They're pretty insane. So yeah, I think this is a fun game mode, arms race. I wish it was in the queue more. I just wish there was no CVs capable of being in it, because it's a lot of fun when there's no CVs. As you can see, we crackened and had a pretty good time just running into the enemy team. Those extra heals, man, they make it so much more fun. When battleships can actually tank damage and are a menace and hard to take down, it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a good day.